Welcome to Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, with your host Steve Garrett, lifetime member of the National Corvette Museum, president of the Corvette Club of Kansas City, Missouri, and radio disc jockey at the #1 radio station in Kansas City for over 45 years. Here's Steve Garrett.
Thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, and the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. I appreciate you tuning in. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call them at 833-840-5334. You can listen to Corvette Today on all podcast platforms. You can also listen on your smart device. Just say, "Hey Google," or "Alexa, play the podcast called Corvette Today," and you're connected. And be sure to visit the Corvette Today website. It's CorvetteToday.com. You can access everything there, including the Corvette Today merchandise store. You can also join our Corvette Today Facebook group there as well. Also, make sure you sign up for the Corvette Today emails, notifications, and updates at CorvetteToday.ck.page. And if you like YouTube, be sure to subscribe to our Corvette Today YouTube channel. See all Corvette Today episodes on YouTube as well. And be sure to patronize our flagship sponsors of Corvette Today, MidEngineCorvetteForum.com, the forum that focuses on the new mid-engine C8 Corvette. Meet a lot of fellow Corvette enthusiasts like yourself at MidEngineCorvetteForum.com. Soul Performance Products. Developed and manufactured in the United States, the Soul Performance Products exhaust portfolio has been tailored to elevate the experience of the world's most exciting sports cars, including the latest generation of the Corvette. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. C8 Rally Driver is the one-stop shop for your C8 Corvette. Choose from custom-designed trunk and front covers, Z06 engine builder CNC plaques, customized wind restrictors, fluid caps, strut covers, rear hatch supports, and more. Everything is uniquely designed to provide you with custom accessories for your C8 Corvette. Visit their website at C8RallyDriver.com and let your imagination run wild. That's C8RallyDriver.com. Aerolarri Wheels, a true forged wheel with over 20 unique styles to choose from for your C8 and wide-body versions of the C7, C6, and C5 Corvette. It's an amazing value, starting at only $23.88 for a set of 4 fully forged wheels. And use the promo code CT111 and get $100 off your purchase. Visit Aerolarri.com. That's AEROLARRI.com. And use the promo code CT111 for your $100 discount. And a shout out to Canadian Corvette Forum and Corvette Forum, welcoming Corvette enthusiasts from around the world. Once again, it's time to bring you the latest Corvette news and headlines with my buddy Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger.com. Keith is here every other week. We keep you current and up to date on what's happening with America's sports car. Keith, welcome back to the show. I hope you're keeping nice and warm, buddy.
Yeah, we've had some of these cold fronts going through, and we're talking about temperatures in the 30s here in Florida, which is a little bit colder than just jacket and shorts weather as we're accustomed to. So might have to pull out some gloves. You know what I'm saying, Steve?
We're talking 2 above here in Kansas City, so I kill for that 30s.
I hear you.
Well, let's get into it, buddy. Let's start off, as we always do, with a production update from the Bowling Green Assembly Plant.
All right, thanks, Steve. Yeah, we'll start first with the Stingrays. That's really what Chevy and the workers at Bowling Green are really showing some big numbers. The 2024 model year started in mid-September, and as of last week, we're seeing 10,250 Corvette Stingrays have already been produced for the model year.
Wow.
They're really cranking them out in January because something unknown appears to be holding back the Z06s. So more and more Stingrays are being made in their place. We've only seen 87 Corvette Z06s completed since the new year, and it's crazy to us that they've been able to do that over a number of shifts. We talked about a couple weeks back, we saw like they built 60 cars over 2 shifts, but it's really dropped off, and we went days and days without any being produced here at the beginning of the year. So we're really wondering what's going on. It's just really hard to put our fingers on, and no one's really talking. During the first 9 days of 2024, only 3 Z06s were made, so something is definitely happening there.
Yeah.
The last number we have for total Z06 production for 2024 is 2,827. So like I said, they were banging them out up into December, and then something happened. They slowed way down. And it's just over the last couple of days, we're seeing like counts of 18 and 19 again. Hopefully that's all returning and we'll get back up there. But some other really good news is that the E-Rays are continuing their slow production ramp up. We saw the first 3 E-Rays for customers built in mid-December, and then it kind of went dark. Of course, they were off for a week with the break there for the holidays. And then we had the week of January 8th sort of circled on our calendar because that's when many were saying their TPWs were set for. That's when we figured, okay, it's after the holidays and stuff, and that's when we'll really start to see stuff get going. I mentioned in an article that the ramp up, the Corvette team had said that they're going to be very deliberate, and we're actually seeing some of these quantities are almost mirroring what we saw during that first month of Z06 production back in September of 2022. They started off really slow, 2 or 3 a day, 6 a day, and then it just goes up from there. The unofficial count we have as of last Wednesday was 20 E-Rays completed, but we think that number is actually over 30 as we record this episode. We expect this trend to continue as the ramp up goes. Eventually we'll see in the teens and then hopefully in the 20s and 30s. It's happening. It's just going to take a little time.
It always does, and that's okay. Also, we saw that in the fourth quarter, GM produced almost 9,000 Corvettes, though, didn't they?
Yeah, they released their latest quarterly stats early January. That covers the fourth quarter of 2023, and it shows a total of 8,915 new Corvettes were delivered during the final 3 months of the year. This is a number, they always compare it to the time period before, so we are a little bit less off. We are 2.4% less than the 9,130 Corvettes delivered in the fourth quarter of 2022. And then for the calendar year, because the fourth quarter numbers complete the 12-month sales chart for us, U.S. dealers delivered 34,353 new Corvettes. And again, that was just 0.5% off the 2022 total of 34,510. Really put them out there. Anytime we get up to 9,000 cars or so in a quarter, that's going to be a pretty good year for us. If we can do over the 9,000, get into the 10,000, that's even better.
Yeah.
Our next quarterly sales report will be released in early April. And of course, we'll have those numbers here for you on Corvette Today.
That sounds great. And buddy, we finally found out how many Corvettes were produced in 2023. You're going to die.
Well, the number was 53,785.
And tell everybody how many short that was of the record.
23 to beat the record. So the official number, 1979, that was the Corvette production record. It stands at 53,807. The 2023 model year is now second all time with 53,785. Margin of 22 Corvettes just to tie the record, 23 to beat it. And in fact, I think I told you this, 23 cars is roughly just about 2 hours of production time at the Corvette assembly plant.
Right.
So very close to being beaten. You hadn't had that snow day that one time, or if that one part had come in and they've been able to build a few more cars.
Yep.
I think they would have had the record. I think they were actually going for the record based on the dates of how things were happening there towards the end of the model year. It was probably a little bit of a gut punch to Harlan because I know he really tracks this kind of stuff.
Yeah. I've
got some more numbers here. So when it comes to the 4 models, Stingray Coupe leads the way, 24,834 units. That represents 46.2% of all production.
Okay.
That was followed by the Stingray convertible at 22,538 units. That's 41.9% of production. And then we have the Z06 convertible, which actually outsold the Z06 coupe.
Wow.
Can't tell you the last time I saw that happen. Probably never in my time blogging here. It was 3,304 convertibles versus 3,109 coupes.
Wow.
Pretty cool there. A total of 47,372 Stingrays were produced versus the 6,413 Z06s. Lastly, some news for you, the 70th anniversary models. Those can be ordered 4 different ways: coupe, convertible, Z06, Stingray. And there was a total of 5,601 70th anniversaries produced for the model year. That represents about 10.4% of total production.
Nice.
And then finally, everyone likes to know about interior and exterior color combos. Chevrolet and NCM offers this great spreadsheet that breaks out those various combinations. You can get that on CorvetteBlogger. You can probably also get it over at the Corvette Museum. Overall, the top 3 colors, once again, torch red, 7,895, Arctic white, 7,216, and then black, which was 6,403. The least produced color was caffeine, just 536. And I believe the top color for the Z06 was black, while the top color for the Stingray was torch red. You can break these all out. The Corvette Museum does have a service. People ask me how rare my car is. I don't know.
Call the museum.
But the Corvette Museum has a service where you can send in your VIN, and they run it through a third party that does an analysis, and then you get back that nice letter that basically tells you your car's a one-on-one because you ordered that one thing with that other one thing that no one else did. That's generally how you get a one-on-one car. So
Right.
finally got stats for 2023. Could live in those for a little while. There's some really cool stories out there, so check it out.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. I can't believe we didn't beat 79. Oh, my gosh. But we do have some good news. The ordering cycle for January starts on Thursday this week.
Yeah, more Corvettes to order. So we're at the start of January's order cycle. Dealers received their allocation numbers last Thursday, and then this Thursday, dealers will get the constraints, and then they can start adding orders to GM's Workbench ordering system. So the dealers that we spoke to, we always do a little call out, kind of our own little survey, says that Stingray numbers were actually relatively strong for this year, while the Z06 quantities were smaller than what we saw in December's allocations. And then for E-Ray, it looks like the model was skipped over, as no dealer that we spoke with received any E-Ray allocations, and we didn't see anybody say they got an E-Ray allocation online either.
Okay.
Here's the thing, though. A couple of these dealers that are talking regarding allocations are stating that, hey, I got in these allocations and we have some open orders now. Rick Conti on his video says he's got several available this month. And then if you go to McMulkin Chevrolet website, they've got around 20, 25 cars. These are incoming dealer stock orders that people can claim. So if you see in there, it'll show you like it's a convertible Stingray. It's black with a red interior. If that's what you want, you can go claim that. It's a car that's incoming. So your time to wait went from months and months and months to maybe 6 to 8 weeks or so.
Right.
If you really want a Stingray and want to be driving it this spring, that sounds like a great way to go. Again, both those dealers will give you those cars at MSRP. We've heard from other dealers saying that it looks like they're going to be ordering some dealer stock orders out there as well. Looks like the tide has turned for Stingray allocations and for production. It might just be a few months where you can walk into a Chevrolet dealer and they might have a couple Stingrays for sale that you can just walk in and buy off the floor. Wouldn't that be something?
It only took us 5 years, but at least we're getting there, right?
Exactly. And of course, I'm talking to one of the dealers and he's like, yeah, that of course opens up all kinds of worms. You get to order your own cars. You get a discount for the customers. Hopefully they want to order their own cars at MSRP, but they'll take your car off your hands for a little discount. That's where that one Facebook site comes into play.
Right.
Corvettes under MSRP. That's a great source for finding discounts as well. They are out there for Stingray. You just got to put the phone to work and find those deals.
Yep, definitely. And also, I don't know if everybody knew this, but the plant tours at Bowling Green Assembly Plant are closing on February 5th. So we've only got, 2-3 weeks left to go.
Exactly. I think we wrote this story on January 5th saying 1 month ago. Kind of surprising. Last year, they said that the assembly plant hosted 30,000 visitors.
Wow.
Which is a huge number. That's actually larger than I thought it would be. But they are halting tours starting February 5th as the assembly plant's going to be making some internal changes. They call these changes, quote, manufacturing advancements. There is currently no date when these tours will reopen, but we are told that it's most likely going to be over a year or more that tours will be closed. So if you want to get in there and see some cars, you have until February 5th to do that. Actually, 5th is Monday, so February 2nd to get in there and see those cars. So it's our speculation. There could be building some capture test fleet cars for the upcoming 2025 Corvette ZR1. We also have that rumored 2025 model year interior update that could see the end of the Great Wall of Buttons. That's a sloping panel that hosts Corvette's HVAC controls between the driver and the passenger. We've got all kinds of rumors. We've got rumors of Grand Sport model. Some people are saying that the plan is just being better optimized for the wide body models. Whatever they're doing there, it's going to take a little while. There's obviously some things going on. And I like the idea of the refresh for 2025 because if you've been on the tours, you see them moving these parts around and there goes a Corvette's dash by you as you're on the tour. So there's probably things like that they don't want you to see as they get all that set up. We'll have to wait and see what happens over the course of the next year with the tours.
Get in there fast, my friends. Get in there fast. Also, Keith, our final story in the news section, the 2024 Corvette is first on Consumer Reports' top 10 most satisfying cars. That's really great because Consumer Reports didn't like us at all at one point.
Yeah, up until C8 time, it was a love-hate relationship. They love to hate us, is how I like to say.
Right.
But we actually have seen a softening of that, and a lot of it is just because of the change, the C8 architecture and some of the things that they've done, especially the quality of the materials on the interior. That was always something that Consumer Reports knocked us down. But the thing about this story is that this is coming from Corvette owners. So they do a survey, and a whopping 93% of 2024 Corvette owners say they buy the car again. That's number one now on Consumer Reports' top 10 most satisfying cars. Other cars in the top 10 were the Lexus NX plug-in hybrid EV at 87%, BMW X5 at 85%, Rivian R1S at 84%. The Corvette was the only GM product to make this top 10, and it's because of Corvette owners. They love their car, and they would definitely buy another one.
Nice. Well, Keith, let's take our first break. When we come back, Corvette Racing and Corvette rumors are on deck next, here on Corvette Today.
We all know that wheels make the car. Wheelcraft's PVD chrome finish in bright chrome or black chrome will take your Corvette to new levels. And it comes with a 5-year warranty. Durability is a defining feature of the Wheelcraft finish. Their PVD chrome is superior to traditional chrome, with a finish that is brake dust resistant and cleans effortlessly with soap and water. Wheelcraft offers factory wheel exchange for select C4 through C8 models, or they can apply the PVD finish to your current wheels. No matter what generation you own, Wheelcraft will transform the look of your Corvette. With every Corvette comes a unique story, and Wheelcraft has embraced this idea. When you purchase your new set of wheels, you receive a lifetime membership to the Wheelcraft Pit Crew, granting you access to your own page on Wheelcraft's website, where you can post pictures and tell your Corvette story. Visit our website at wheelcraft.com or call 833-639-4231. Arrive in style with Wheelcraft.
Car Capsule brings you the official multi-award-winning Corvette SC1 Showcase. It's the ultimate form of protection, preservation, and presentation for your Corvette. No dust, mold, or mildew. This officially licensed GM product features all 8 Corvette flag logos, Corvette branding on the panels, a carbon fiber look and feel, and interior chip onboard lighting, plus the IntelliCharge battery charger with the fan backup system. It takes only 5 minutes to inflate, and it won't collapse when you open the doors or during a power loss. It's a freestanding drive-in, drive-out operation. See it at carcapsule.com or call 219-945-9493.
When you want to buy a Corvette, or any Chevrolet for that matter, get yours from Hendrick Chevrolet Shawnee Mission, located in Kansas City. Hendrick Chevrolet is the largest Corvette dealership and showroom in the Midwest. With a knowledgeable sales staff and Corvette sales specialists on hand, they'll help you build the Corvette of your dreams, and they ship nationwide. With Corvette certified master mechanics on site and a huge parts department with over 24,000 parts and $2 million in inventory, Hendrick Chevrolet is well equipped to take care of your every need. From sales to service to collision repair, Hendrick Chevrolet has you covered. Visit ChevyUSA.com or call 913-384-1550.
You're listening and watching Corvette Today with Steve Garrett.
Hey, thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. It's the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. You want your Corvette looking its best? Well, dress it up with bright chrome or black chrome wheels. Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or do a wheel exchange, and you get a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com or call them 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger.com. Every other week, we keep you current and up to date on what's happening in the world of Corvette. In this second segment, we always talk about Corvette racing and Corvette rumors. First, Keith, we're starting a new era of Corvette racing, and it starts at the end of January.
Yeah, actually, it's race week as the 2024 IMSA Series kicks off its calendar at the Rolex Doing Tour of Daytona. The team just wrapped up 3 days of practice during the war before the 24, and then they actually held qualifying for Daytona's pole position. As we record this prior to the weekend, you got to check out Corvette Blogger to see where the Z06 GT3R racers will be starting on the grid. One of the very exciting things coming up here is the addition of more Corvettes that are running in IMSA. Of course, we have the 2 Corvettes in the GTD amateur class now with AWA Racing fielding those cars. We received our first press release from Pratt Miller Motorsports for the event. And the nice thing is that not only are they including quotes from the pro drivers as we've always had, but it looks like they're going to be discussing the amateur team as well. So for us, it looks like almost seamless transition as Corvette Racing brings in these other racing groups into their PR fold. Will give us all the lowdowns as they happen for each race. So both prior to the race and then post-race and their reactions there. Pretty exciting stuff. The Rolex 24 Daytona kicks off at 1:40 p.m. Eastern Time this Saturday. That start of that race will be broadcasted on NBC, so you better be there.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. I'm glad it's going to be on network television, too. It'll be easier for us to find.
At least the first race. I know it jumps around. I think it even ends up on Discovery Channel for a minute.
Oh, wow.
But if you've got Peacock, you're a Chiefs fan. I'm sure you've got Peacock.
Of course, of course.
Peacock, of course, required people, if you wanted to watch that Chiefs football game a couple weeks back, you had that Peacock. Well, all the races are shown on Peacock, so it is an investment. And if you make it for football or if there's something else you want to watch, that's where you'll find IMSA Racing, so it's good to have anyway. Catch it out on NBC at 1:40 p.m. on Saturday.
Sounds good. And speaking of one of the teams, TF Sports has shown off their new GT3R livery, and they're going to be in the WEC.
Yeah, these are cool colors. Of course, they're using the traditional black and yellow colors combined. They did a fantastic job on these designs. It almost reminds us of the Corvette C6Rs when they raced. One was in yellow with black accents and one was black with the yellow accents.
Right.
It's not that extreme, but they did a fantastic job on these. We've seen 6 liveries so far for 2024, and of those 6, this is the best. I'd even say that these are better than the Corvette Racing livery.
Wow.
You'll definitely want to check those out. WC previously always kicked off, or at least the last few years has kicked off at Sebring, and that's not going to happen this year. They're actually kicking off March 2nd in Qatar for the first World Endurance Championship race. There was some talk that maybe TF Sport would not be fielding these cars until maybe the second race, so I'm going to go back and take a look at that to see if that's the case. There was something, they're racing a Mercedes now, I believe, the Mercedes AMG.
Okay.
And I think they might have had one more race for that car, which would have been the opener at Qatar. We'll check that out. But man, dare I say, these are the best liveries for 2024, and you'll definitely see why.
Yeah, and you can check them out on the Corvette Today News and Headlines show on the YouTube channel. You can see all the liveries there.
There you go.
Also, our buddy Ron Fellows is going to be inducted into the Sebring Hall of Fame. That is so good news. Ron was on Corvette Today, episode number 104, and that was middle of April of 2022, but it was great to see him get this accolade.
Yeah, one of the nicest guys in motorsports. He'll talk to anybody for as long as you want to. Just a fantastic guy. Another honor in his impressive career. He's one of 6 new inductees into the Sebring Hall of Fame. They do this voting every 2 years. I went back, I tried to pull up his stats for just Sebring. It looks like he participated 10 races, won 4 of those races. In addition, he has 7 total podium finishes, 6 pole positions, and has raced over 3,000 laps at that historic track. Huge numbers. We're talking just one track. We're not talking a career. These newest members of the Hall of Fame will be inducted before the start of the 72nd Mobile One 12 Hours of Sebring. That'll happen on Saturday, March 16th. And then if you're at that race, you can also listen to Ron. He's going to talk at a seminar on Friday, March 17th at 9:30 a.m. That's at the Gallery of Legends building, which is sort of like their little Hall of Fame building. They also have the old vintage race cars in there as well. So you can hear Ron talk Friday, March 17th at 9:30. Definitely take advantage of that if you're at the race.
That sounds great. Also, Keith, in our rumors category, we touched on this in the first segment of the show, but Bowling Green has only built 89 Z06s since December 21st. What do you think is going on?
It's really tough to say. We haven't really heard of any part shortages. And the Stingray production, there's a couple different weather events that's happened over the course of the last few weeks. Nothing there is really saying, well, we don't see the Stingray slowing down. So it does seem to be Z06 specific. It might even be wide body specific because we do have the E-Rays starting to ramp up. Maybe there are some things that they were holding back to make sure that the E-Rays do get that smooth ramp up that we've been talking about. We rely on these numbers. They come from Roger Keel. He posts these unofficial Corvette production estimates on Facebook. And some of the people are saying, oh, well, it's Facebook. It's unreliable. Why are you getting your stats off of there? If you saw his chart, you'd see why. And the fact is that we've been following for so long. A lot of his data has matched up with other data. We also rely on a website called C8 Tracker, which counts cars by their window stickers being produced. They lag a little bit behind the immediate day after reports that we get from Roger Keel, but it still shows that something's going on at the beginning of January where slowdown in Z06 production was actually really happening. It does appear the last few days we've started to see it pick up. Last Wednesday and Thursday, which is our last 2 dates of info, we had 18 and 19 units completed on those days. Hopefully, we're going to still see that kind of count again. We've seen counts in the 60s before. We saw them do, I think, 71 over a course of 2 shifts. So we know it's possible. There's just something happening there. There's some other things going on. We talked about the redesign and doing some other things in the plant.
Right.
Maybe they've slowed down just a little bit, and then we'll take advantage of that once some of those improvements and enhancements are done over there. One of the rumors of the plant shutdown was because they're going to make enhancements to facilitate more wide body production. Of course, we call those the Z's and the E's. It's rumors. We don't know why, speculation wise, but it's just something to keep an eye on. And again, the numbers don't lie. We'll be watching those, and hopefully in 2 weeks we'll be able to say, yeah, remember that slowdown? It appears all to be in our rear view window.
That'd be nice, buddy, for sure. All right, Keith, let's take our last break. When we come back, it's the lighter side of Corvette coming up next on Corvette Today.
Are you ready for a better insurance policy without the Corvette tax? With Agreed Value Protection, the value of your collector vehicle will never change. Plus, you'll save money. Get a quick quote at ncminsurance.com.
Hey, honey, are you awake?
I am now.
I can't sleep. Since turning 50, I keep dreaming of a red door and a blue door, somehow knowing there are only choices for retirement.
Okay.
Through the red door, we outlive our money. We have to rely on our kids. We're stuck on a fixed income. It's terrifying.
Yeah, that would suck.
But through the Blue Door, our money outlives us. We retire on our terms. Our kids stay our kids, not our caretakers. We make work optional.
Yes, that's much better. That's what I want too. But what do we do?
We call True Wealth and Company at 913-653-8783. They specialize in helping successful people make work optional. They're our fiduciary Blue Door personal wealth managers.
Hey, where are you going? It's 3 a.m.
I can't sleep. I'm going to check out True Wealth and Company online at retirewithtrue.com. That Blue Door is going to be our retirement.
913-653-8783. Visit us online at retirewithtrue.com. Investment advice offered through True Wealth and Company, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of Kansas.
VetFinders.com is the Internet's original Corvette classified ads website, with classified ads starting at just $25. And every ad runs until your Corvette is sold. If you're in the market for a Corvette, VetFinders.com has over 500 Corvettes for sale from all around the USA and Canada and covering all 8 generations. Visit VetFinders.com, the Internet's destination for buying and selling Corvettes. That's VETTE Finders.com.
The Radiator Grill Store offers C8 Corvette A-pillar wind diffusers in beautiful carbon fiber or OEM gloss black that help reduce wind buffeting when a window is open. Easy installation and OEM fitment. Plus, get 10% off your total purchase with the promo code CT10 at radiatorgrillstore.com.
And now, back to Corvette Today with your host and my husband, Steve Garrett.
Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. You want your Corvette looking its best? Well, dress it up with bright chrome or black chrome wheels. Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or do a wheel exchange, and you get a 5-year warranty as well. So visit wheelcraft.com or give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. Every other week, Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger is with me. We keep you current and up to date on what's happening with America's sports car. In this final segment, we always talk about the lighter side of Corvette. Keith, Yahoo Finance goes to Bowling Green Assembly Plant, and they watched the first E-Ray come off the assembly line. Why didn't they invite us?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I've been trying to tell you, Steve. Actually, this is a pretty good video. It kind of came to hit us by surprise. We see the guy standing there in front of a car, and it actually is a black E-Ray. He visited the assembly plant. The first retail 2024 Corvette E-Ray coming off the assembly line belongs to Mr. Hendrick, and it appears that Mr. Hendrick's streak of outfitting his VIN 001 cars remains intact, as we see the first E-Ray is black with a dipped adrenaline red interior.
Nice.
The Yahoo Finance report, this is a video, so he goes behind the wheel of a car. He goes out driving it. Nice little recap of the E-Ray and what to expect. We don't see a lot of the number one car coming off the line, just a brief picture. We think that Chevy's going to save that, as they've done for all their launches, where they do a special press release, show the car and some other details about it.
Right.
For Z06, that came about a month after production started. So I don't know if we're going to be seeing that anytime this month, because production actually started back in December, or if really it's going to come within the next few weeks, fall into February, because we're in the ramp up phase right now. You can see that video on CorvetteBlogger and also on YouTube. Just search for Yahoo Finance and it'll come up.
That sounds good. And also the Corvette Academy put out a new E-Ray video as well.
Yeah, it's been a few months since we've seen an E-Ray Academy video. This one features several Chevrolet and Corvette team members discussing the new performance hybrid sports car. Not a whole lot of information. There's a pretty cool quote in there. My favorite quote comes from Chevrolet marketing director Brad Franz. He says, quote, "Not many times in a career do you have the opportunity to take such an iconic car and take it to the next level of performance." The E-Ray absolutely does that. The other thing, though, is interesting. These E-Ray videos don't do much in dispelling the myths of the first performance hybrid. We still find people, they see the E in the E-Ray name and think the car's totally electric.
Right.
We ran another video, I think last week, from Mike at Brink of Speed, who wanted to dispel some of these myths. And you should read the comments. They're crazy. You know, it's just people, I wouldn't be caught dead in an electric Corvette. Well, you know, if that's how you really feel about stuff, then perhaps you need a new hobby. You know, it's pretty sad, but also somewhat comical. I really can't wait for these cars to be out in public, and these people that are so anti-E-Ray get their first taste of being pushed in the back of their seat as that front wheel drive kicks in, because that's really what it's all about for me, is the all-wheel drive system of the E-Ray and what it can do. All these years I've been covering Corvettes and seeing, oh, here comes the GTR, here comes another all-wheel drive car. You know, Corvette's got no chance in that situation. Well, now it does.
Yeah, and I think a lot of what people are missing about the E-Ray is the hybrid is built for performance. It's not built for distance driving. So it's to enhance performance of the Corvette, and it's the first all-wheel drive Corvette we've ever had. So if people understand that, hopefully they'll get away from, I would never be caught driving an electric Corvette. It's built for added performance.
There was an article that came out, we didn't cover it. It was from a CNN writer who talked about the Corvette E-Ray misses his mark because it's not focused on fuel economy with its hybrid setup. And that's totally the wrong reason why. It's like just went right over his head on the real reason why. It's for performance, and it's only for performance.
Yes, absolutely.
You're not going to see any major gains from fuel economy unless you religiously drive in stealth mode. And I'm talking about turning off the car and turning it back on, going another 4 miles, charge up the battery, turn it back off, turn it back on. Yeah, you'll get some fuel economy savings that way, but it's not built for that. It's built for pushing you in the back of the seat, hooking up those front wheels, and then beating whoever is next to you.
Exactly right. Also, our next story, Keith, it was nice to see, we touched in the first segment on the Consumer Reports award that Corvette got. Motor Authority, which is a really good website, named the C8 Z06 as the best car to buy in 2024.
Yeah, they start off the article. It says, it may not be perfect, but the 2024 Corvette Z06 doesn't miss by much. That's a pretty cool thing to say about the car. One of the other things they really like about it is its special engine. They call the dual clutch transmission as incredibly responsive and capable of keeping power in any scenario. And then their final quote, they say, Ferrari's already moved on past naturally aspirated flat plane crank V8s and into its twin turbo V6 and the hybrid era. There will be a faster, more powerful Corvettes, but it's impossible any will be as special as the Corvette Z06.
There you go.
Pretty cool quote there. Of course, the best car to buy if you can get one. We know that the lines are still long for the car, so good luck to those people in 2024 because it is a special car.
It is a special car, and if you want a really special car, we saw a 2020 captured test fleet Corvette that was offered for sale at $10,000 under MSRP.
Yeah, we found this on Craigslist, and the more I kept reading, my eyes just kept getting wider and wider. It ends up being the 119th C8 Corvette Stingray to be built. They built a run of CTF cars. These are the ones that go to Corvette executives and engineers, and they drive them. But because they're CTF cars, they're saleable. So those cars that finished their testing and evaluations were offered to dealers and sold. 4 years after the 2020s were out, we've got one for sale. This car has actually undergone a rigorous inspection. It's a certified pre-owned car, and Chevrolet certified pre-owned cars have their own warranties and additional things that they do. So really nice to see it have that additional protection in place for the car. What's interesting is, like we said, a captured test fleet car, it was one of the cars that was used to train dealers and others out at Spring Mountain.
Oh.
Yeah, it's gently used. It only has about 9,000 miles on it, I believe. And like I said, the car is offered for $10,000 under the original MSRP of $82,000. It's got the Z51 performance package. It's got the visible carbon fiber roof, carbon flash wheels, and microfiber steering wheel. The selling dealer is Gamblin Motors out of Washington State, and they are offering this car for $71,996.
Boy, that's nice. Our final story, Keith, you and I got to go to Mecum Kissimmee. It's 2 weeks of auctioning, almost 5,000 vehicles right after the new year, and we have the top 11 Corvettes sold at Mecum Kissimmee.
Yeah, great to see you there, Steve. Just a great time we had. Of course, we got to hang out with some of the consigners. Of course, Dr. Mark Davis, Tom Hill, who was offering the L88, a bunch of other people, just great people. We did a great tour. Mecum did a Corvette Day tour with us. We teamed up with Bloomington Gold and the great folks from Vet Views magazine as well. Now that the auction's over, we do have the top Corvette sales from Mecum Kissimmee 2024. I'm going to just run down the list real quick. Number one, the best selling was the first and last Corvette L88s. They were sold as a group. That lot sold for $2,585,000.
Wow.
But you get two cars for that. They're both L88, so that's pretty cool there. 1963 Corvette Z06 with the big tank, $935,000. Third on the list, 1963 Harley Earl styling car, that blue car that we saw with the cool outboard exhaust on it.
Yep.
That sold for $803,000. There was another Corvette Z06 from 1963, sold for $770,000. Number 5 on the list, this kind of surprised me. I actually thought it would go a little bit higher, but it was the 1953 Kindig CF1 Custom Roadster.
Yeah.
This is the number 5 car. It sold for $777,000.
Yeah, I thought it would have gone higher too.
That was a pretty car. I really enjoyed looking at that one. And then back to original cars, 1969 Corvette L88 convertible. That sold for $495,000. We had a 62 Corvette convertible. This was the one part of Mark Davis's collection $456,000.
Yeah.
Our guy Steve that put together the analysis of this thinks that this might be the highest non-racing 1962 Corvette ever sold.
Yeah.
That was a special car there. We have another 63 split window coupe that sold for $412,000 and $500. That car was actually part of the split window group, the split window collection. And then we had another from the collection, 63 Z06, $385. Two more on the list, 1958 Corvette convertible, $363,000. And then finally, a 1963 Corvette split window coupe, $352,000. Fantastic sales. Of course, they had over 460 Corvettes there. You know what the least selling car was for Corvette?
What's that?
I believe it was a 91 or a 94. There's two of them, and they sold for like $4,950.
No kidding.
So you can get a running, driving Corvette for under $5,000. I would call that a bargain.
Absolutely right. Well, buddy, thanks for being back on Corvette Today. We'll see you in 2 weeks, and that'll be show number 199.
Wow, we're closing in on the magical 200, Steve. Can't wait to hear that one. In the meantime, if we see you out on the roads, throw up that hand and keep waving.
Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today. And be sure to tell your family, friends, and other Corvette enthusiasts about the Corvette Today show. And thanks to our sponsors, Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com to learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call 833-840-5334. Soul Performance Products at soulpp.com, the official exhaust of Corvette Today. True Wealth & Company at retirewithtrue.com. Also, Aerolarri Wheels. Get $100 off your purchase with the new promo code CT111 at aerolarri.com. And Hendrick Chevrolet in Kansas City at chevyusa.com.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. If you'd like to contact Steve with ideas for Corvette Today, you can email him at stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Garrett has 2 R's and 2 T's. That's stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Also, sign up for email notifications at corvettetoday.ck.page. Follow Steve and the show on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Threads at Steve Garrett DJ. Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today.